So let's go ahead and mask this by the end of the video, and then we should have something that looks pretty decent. So go ahead and select your table walls and make them individual units. So for example, I'm just selecting this part over here. We'll call this maybe outer wall. It doesn't really matter the name that you give it. Inner wall, and do these guys ramp 1. And feel free to add any texture you want. I do have a grass image inside of the library. There it is. And as soon as we do this, it'll kind of lend itself to looking sort of like a golf course. So I'm gonna get this in my clipboard. So just cut it off. We'll click inside of any one of your walls, and the artwork that we've already drawn is going to be our mask. So go ahead and add one more layer in here. Drag it below where you've already got stuff. Paste in your grass wherever you want, and then we're gonna right click on it and go over here to mask, and you'll see that now the part that we had drawn is that's the part that is revealed of the image. And of course our image doesn't extend around the entire artwork yet, but that's easy to fix. Usually what I'll do here is I'll view the mask as a wireframe, so you can see when it's locked up, the two layers are locked up, it shows you the kind of final effect of the masking. So if you unlock them, then you get to see what's going on. But of course if you have the full visibility on this on the mask, it's kind of hard to see what's below. So go ahead and just do that as wireframes. And then here's a nice little trick. You can hit break apart or just Command B, and when this is back down to well, I don't want to call it really vector art, but it is a kind of a weird in-between version of being an image and vector art. You can see that you can pull it around kind of like in a fill state, reshape it, and it basically just patterns out that image. So this is a really easy way to, I don't want to select the mask, really easy way to cover a lot of ground with without having to kind of copy and paste the same little segment of an image. And now let's take a look at it. All right, let's see it on top of our background here. It looks okay. It could obviously look a lot better if we gave it a bit of dimension to it. So I do this at this point. Go ahead and copy it, paste this out again, and duplicate it. So go over here to symbol, duplicate, and we're just going to call this outer wall, I don't know, 2. And then double click inside of here, and we're going to get rid of the mask this time around. So just delete that, and then you're going to right click over here, just take the masking effect off. And let's set this to just be pure black. And we'll reposition it kind of back underneath the wall in just a moment. But let's just pull it off the side for right now so you guys get a better idea of what's going on. So I want to obviously add some indication that this wall is raised up off of the wood background, which we're completely not getting that effect right now. So I can take this, and if I copy it and paste what I currently have on top of that layer, you can see I've got 2 of them now, and then shrink this together, I'm going to start to get a little bit more depth to this wall if I put them back together again. And I need to do enough of that I think it's significant, that it's going to look like it's the height of it is well above that ball. So probably something like this is what I want to do. And then obviously I need to fill in some gaps over here. Some of them are a little easier, like that one should fill in. Oh well, I forgot they're on 2 different layers. So go ahead and let's see, I was going to say take it off, but you know what, actually before you do that, and this is a little bit hard to all see at once, maybe I can fold this up some. Take the pivot point of the top layer, move it down to there, and then when you scale down like that, we should then have a little nice bit of height at the top. Okay, so now you can cut it off, paste it onto the layer below, and hopefully we get what we're looking for. All right, so now I should be able to fill into there, and then on this side you could probably just pull this vector point over to there, and that'll fill that together. Okay, so now we can get back over here. Let's get the timeline open again. These should be on the same layer. Obviously you want to send this one backwards, so go over here to arrange, send backward, and if it doesn't send it backward enough, I'm just going to use the high key to do it a few more times. And there we go. Now we're getting a little bit something better. And let's get the ball off of there. There we go. So kind of get an idea of what that could look like. It's maybe a little bit, let's see, too much on that side. Let's double click inside of there, and there is an easy way to deal with that. You go over here to shape and then expand fill, which you can also do the reverse of, so you can inset it too, and then you could start to inset that a little bit more. I just opened up the hotkey for it, so you can do it a few more times. So if you feel like, there we go, it needs a little adjustment. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then let's add some a glow effect to it. I know it sounds kind of weird, but if we just set this to black, and then make sure you can see all the options here. Let's set the quality to high, and then if we just kind of blur that out a little bit. I think it should blend in a little bit nicer with the table. And if you want, I'd say you could even take the the grass part and just bring this out a little bit, so you can kind of ignore the fact that that glow is bleeding off to the side some. If you just don't want to see it, just kind of give you a better view. Here we go. And let's zoom in a tad. So we're starting to get a little bit more of a, a textured look for the outer table. Another little trick you could do is to select, the grass layer here, and go over here to bevel. Just apply bevel, I should say. And then let's swing this around a little bit. I'd like some of it to be appearing over here on this side. And then let's take the strength down just a tad, so it's not so intense, but then also bump up the distance a little bit as well. And this is another thing that you can soften out a bit with the blurring. I think I took it all the way down to the Y. There we go. So yeah, that's looking a little bit better. And these pinball tables are kind of the sum of all their parts. So they slowly come together. And I think when we add some, what we could do is we could add some trees and stuff like that. And the more we pile things on, the better. But I think that is looking good. And of course, any texture in here would work. Let's go ahead and just real quick do the same thing for some of our other ones that we've got. So I'm just gonna select the grass part. I'll copy out that big chunk of it, and let's paste it over here. Let's see, did it make it all the way? No. There we go. Make that into the mask. Do that for this guy. For this one, because it's a lot smaller, I might just pull out the, get it from the library. Okay, certainly those ones look a lot wimpier now, don't they? And we'll do basically the same thing. So I'm going to copy this out, duplicate it real fast, and let's get rid of that layer. Oops, sorry, nope. Let's get rid of that layer. Keep this one that was the mask. Take the mask off. Let's get rid of that. Unlock it so we can manipulate it. And this time around, instead of copying and pasting this, kind of moving out off to the side, I might just try to expand the fills on it and see if that'll do the trick, because it is pretty thin. So again, go over here to shape, expand fills. Great hotkey to learn if you can remember it. And just kind of start bumping that out a little bit. I'm doing it in increments of 4 at a time. And then let's bring this back into view over here. I'm going to move that behind. Maybe move it down a little bit. I think it could definitely get expanded a bit more, so I'm going to have to double click inside there. Let's try 10. Let's see if that works. Okay, and I'm kind of obviously offsetting it a little bit, favoring this side for the darker side. There we go. And let's that's probably about right. Let's go ahead and give it another glow. Save a little bit of time by just copying the one that we've already set up. So copy all filters, go back over to here, paste that in. There we go. And I think we could probably do the same thing for that as well. Let me take this ball off of here. Oh, and you know what? Let's do that same bevel effect too. So I'm going to go over to that one, copy all filters, and actually might as well select all three at once. Just hold down the shift key, paste those in. So I got those, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's get this guy over here. So duplicate it, do that, make sure that this is not a mask anymore, set that to black, and expand fill. Let's try it at 20 initially, so I don't have to waste much time with that. There we go. Grab that same glow filter, copy all filters, and let's see, yeah, don't need the bevel, I don't think, on that. Okay, and the last one, duplicate you, go into here, get rid of that, take that off, and then let's bump you up by 20, get rid of that bevel. Okay, moving a little faster. And let's get now that we kind of have an idea of what our flippers are, yeah, get rid of them. That way they don't look so weird. Big green flippers down there. Okay, so let's take a look. I think probably that could go over a little bit. Might want to take the glow down just a tad on this one. Probably that one too. Maybe not so intense. And let's zoom in a bit. Get a better idea of what's going on. On this one, I might make the grass texture a little bit smaller. So for example, oops. So in Animate, you can now rotate the stage, which at times drives me a little crazy because I don't know how to set it back yet to just being completely unrotated. So I have to kind of make these micro movements to try to get there. So I'm just scaling that down. I just want to see if that looks a little bit better. And to further confuse things, you'll notice that I'm actually working at to show you guys most of the table at once. I have to be down here at like 27%, which is pretty small. So if I hit Apple 1, you get a better idea of what this would look like, at its regular resolution. In which case, you'll notice that the grass is almost blurring out a little bit. I might want to shrink that down on to about that level there too. But of course, when someone is looking at this on their actual device, they're seeing the whole thing at once too. So it's more like they're seeing it like this. Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, we'll once we start putting in some other trees and all sorts of other things. But it's got a little bit, obviously a bit more dimension to it. I might tinker around a bit with the glow just to get that perfect glow effect. Maybe increase that a little bit. But let's pause it for here, and I'll come back with more in the next video.